All right, so I'm going to give you an assignment on the UPS tracking system. You can just research about what we talked about. We say you write on want a local one, something which is operating in local. We're talking of DHL, FedEx, and so forth, Swift. You know, these things, sometimes when you want to send mail, you go with your package there, they weigh your package, they label it, they put it in the system, and they give you a number to track it. And you can easily track where your package is until it arrives to the other person. The other person can also track when you give them the tracking number. So want to see what technologies do they use, and some of them are written here, but I want you to write it as in, you know, in an organized way, right?
Sorry, Doc.
Yes.
I just want to ask, is this the same as the UPS tracking system? Is the same that is with one which is used by organizations when they are tracking their vehicles? We've put some examples like iTrack, where they install a device in a vehicle, then they can track and monitor where the vehicle is in those operators of haulage trucks.
No. It's mostly about tracking packages. You know, when you want to send something, maybe by DHL, you want to send a package to United States. It's more like sending a letter. You want to send a parcel, you go to DHL, they take your package, they put a tracking number there. So you can actually, they give you a tracking number. So on their website, you log in there, you put the tracking number. They can tell you that your package is now in the plane. Your package is now in Britain. Your package is now in New York. Your package is now at this, until it gets to the location. Then you can actually see that your package has been collected by so and so.
Okay.
Yes.
So almost similar to the one that is used when you buy Japanese cars. They give you a tracking number. You check where the position of your car every time.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I will type it in a form of an assignment and give you. So don't worry as of now, but I'll give you as an assignment so that you can actually write it in a proper fashion. Now I want to look at the business perspective on information systems. So basically what we are saying is that information systems is not just technology, but it is more. There's more to information technology than just technology. Basically, information system is an instrument for creating value. So which means you add value to your business by having an information system. By making investment in information system, you have a result of a superior return, where you expect that your productivity increases. Your revenue also should increase. And you should, in the long term, have a superior strategic position. This is competitive advantage over your competitors. So looking at the business information value chain, raw data is acquired and transformed through stages that add value to the information. So which means you're putting in data. That data is going to be transformed so that you can actually add value to it, so that you can have information which is useful. So the value of information systems is determined by, in part, by the extent to which it leads to better decisions, greater efficiency, and higher profits. So which means an information system, once you acquire it, it should lead you to have at the end better decisions, greater efficiency, and higher profits. Otherwise, it's useless to you if it's not achieving that. So when you acquire a management information systems, the business is called to attention to have organizational and managerial nature. You should have attention to it so that your organization should be prepared and your management should be prepared to work with the information system so that it can actually be used to its maximum performance. It doesn't help for people to just say, we're going to acquire SAP, to use SAP, and you just continue doing what you were doing before. You're still using your paper, you're printing a lot and so forth. Then it's not helping you to make decisions. It's not helping you to have greater efficiency, and it will never help you to get higher profits because you're still in the old version of doing business. So basically what we are saying is that investing in information technology does not guarantee you good returns. It doesn't mean that if you buy an information system or an information technology, then all of a sudden your profits are going to go up. It may just mean that you have wasted money if you are not careful. So there is considerable variation in the returns firms receive from systems investments. And the factors which we have to worry about is adopting the right business model. We should have a right business model which will maximize the availability of the information system or the information technology. And you should invest in what they call complementary assets. These are organizational and management capital. It's more like the will of the management or the will of the organization. The steps you are going to take to make sure that this asset which you have invested in is going to be used to the benefit of the organization. This is what we are calling complementary assets. It's more like the structure of the organization. I'm going to make sure that it adopts and get prepared to use this system to its utmost benefit of the organization. So this diagram is actually showing the business value chain from the data collection on the far left. On the far left, you have your data collection and storage, followed by transformation into business systems and dissemination of that information. So the data which has been collected and transformed into information can now be disseminated through different business processes where you have supply chain management, enterprise management, customer management, knowledge management, and so forth, right? And the business activities, which, the management activities which have to take place are your normal management activities, including planning, coordinating, controlling, and then modeling and decision making. So which means at the end, when data comes in, it has to help you in decision making. So the modeling part, that's where you have the analytics, where you actually be able to analyze the data and it helps you to make decisions. So at the end result is the firm profitability and strategic position at the far right. So this diagram shows you the the evidence that we said investment in IT doesn't mean that you are going to have profitability. So this shows different companies with IT capital stock going forward on the x-axis. On the y-axis is your productivity. So you can see other companies, they invest so low, right? But have very high productivity. And others, they've got very high capital stock, but still their value productivity is still below average. So which means it doesn't follow that if you just spend money, it's going to convert into profits. You have to make internal decisions and processes which will help you to do that. So what are these complementary assets which help you achieve profitability when you invest in management information systems? So here I'm talking of organizational capital and the right business model. So these are the assets which are required to derive value from a primary investment. So firms supporting technology investment with investment in complementary assets receive superior returns. For example, if you invest in technology and then you invest in the people to make it work properly. So which means if we buy a technology, we have to invest in our people so that they can actually effectively use the technology. So I've seen companies investing in SAP, and its people actually are trained to use SAP. I've seen people really going down into being able to program in SAP. They call it ABAP, something like that. And they actually write certification examination so that they can effectively help the organization to use this investment to the utmost profitability. So some of these complementary assets are we have examples of organizational assets are appropriate business model and efficient business processes. So you should have all these things in place. Make sure that your business model and your business processes are well suited to the asset. On the managerial assets, you can actually give incentives for management innovation, teamwork and collaborative work environments. And examples of social assets. These are assets which are in the society, which basically you don't control, like the internet and communication infrastructure and technology standards. So these complementary assets, they have to be in place for you to be effectively gaining from your investment in the information technology or in the management information system. So as we were saying, you cannot just buy and expect to gain. You should also make other efforts to help the organization, and we call these complementary assets. So basically, information systems is an area of study. It has two elements: the technical approaches and behavioral approaches. So sometimes when you hear someone who did a degree in information systems, they have these two components the technical approach or the technical side of things, where we're talking of things like operations research, computer science, and management science. So these are the sciences side of the information systems. Then the behavioral side is where you have sociology, economics, and psychology. And the people, all these elements are studied by people who are actually doing information systems. Because basically what we are saying is, although we are talking of a system which is developed and put on a computer, a software, to do some calculations and so forth, other elements, human elements, have to come in. That's why we talk of sociology, sociological elements, economical elements, and psychological elements. They have to be put in for the whole system to work together for the benefit of the organization. So the technical approach, it emphasizes mathematically based models. So we have areas like computer science, management science, and operations research. And behavioral approach, we have behavioral issues, which are strategic business integration, implementation, and so forth. And we have areas like psychology, economics, and sociology. So which means information system, it actually infuses all these areas to make sure that the managing information systems as an area of study help the business to operate at its optima. So it's not just a computer or an information technology thing. You have to integrate the human side of things. How do customers behave? How do customers expect me to behave? If I do this to the customer, or if I input this kind of data and so forth, how do they behave? If they want this, how do they react? Things like that. So the human side is also very important. So, so this book approach to this text, it's actually a sociotechnical systems, where you're actually talking of the social side and the technical side of things. So managing information systems, it combines computer science, management science, operations research, and practical orientation with behavioral issues. So there are basically four main actors here: suppliers of hardware and software, which falls under basically the computer science side of things. We have business firms, managers and employees, and the firm's environment, where it's actually working in the environment, which is the legal, the social, and the cultural context. So the management information system has to encompass all these actors. So the socio-technical view is that optimal organizational performance is achieved by jointly optimizing the social and the technical systems used in production. And it helps avoid purely a technological approach. So when people are trying to buy an information system, they have to also think of the social and the business side of things. Not just to copy that we saw Zesa have got SAP, so let's buy SAP. So you have to look at your customer base, your business practice, your business model. Do they fit? What really do you want? How do you do business? Who's your customer? Who's your supplier? How are they going to behave when we give them this? Are they going to be impressed? Are they going to be happy? Is it going to make life easier for them? And so forth. are they going to gain to have profitability? So you have to make a lot of decisions before you just jump and acquiring a system. So the basic thing here is you are looking at various alternatives, that looking from the technological side and your organizational side. If you say alternative one in the technology, does it fit with our organization? And you have to look at these variables until you make your final decision of what is the final design of our technology, what we really want, and what is the final design of our organization, how should we operate. We have seen most companies, they buy a software and then they just try to continue doing whatever they were doing and try to survive, which is not the best way of doing things. The software has to fit hand in glove with what you do. So either your company has to change the way it does things, or you buy or develop a software which fits in the way you do your business, so that there is no waste or a waste of time or a waste of resources. So unfortunately, this slide is not going to help you because you are not going to study as information systems people, but this is just a course in your management. But of course, the fact that you are doing this course, it actually helps you open your mind, because we expect you to become managers or very big people in your organizations, because you are now studying for your MBA. So we expect you to go up there in management, and you have to appreciate the importance of information systems. How do we acquire these things? Should we just jump? Your IT guys, they come and say, no, boss, there is this new software which is out there. 1 and 2 companies are already using it. Let's buy it. So you have to think hard about it. What are the benefits? Does it fit in our program or in a way of doing business? So that when you eventually buy this software, it's not just a waste of money, but it's actually going to help in your productivity and increase your sales. So at this point, I want to end here. What I want to do with you guys, I'm going to give you my email address. My email address is benny.nyambo. Let me type it on the please send me an email. I want to add you to my Google class. On the Google class, I'm going to share these notes and the textbook. I'll try by all means to share as much content as possible. And I'll also put the assignments there so that we have one place where we are actually collecting information. All right, so as we agreed, when I was looking at the timetable, I think we were going to meet 3 or 4 times only, then the course will be done. But if you look at the book, I'll also share the course outline there. There's a lot of content which we should cover. So the content I'm going to share with you, let's read it. And at the end of this chapter, every chapter, there are questions. This course is very simple. Why? Because most of the content we are studying here, we know, we have seen it. We just want someone to trigger us to start thinking in a certain way. But most of the things we are applying them in our workplaces. So I expect you to easily understand this course. But if you don't read and wait for the dates of the examinations, then there will be too much work to read and it's not going to be good for you. So let's just continue reading. Allocate yourself time maybe once in 2 days to read content from our course. At the end of each chapter, try to answer questions. I'll give you assignments. Please, I think we'll do 3 assignments in this course. They want us to have three pieces of coursework, so we'll do 3. Please do them on time. Usually we have problems with students trying to submit at the end, just before examination. And the director of graduate school will be saying, this student is saying she's registered, but there's no coursework. Can you mark the assignment? I assure you, you won't get the same marks with those who submitted on time. Yes, you can get 50% when you were supposed to get 80. That's not good for you. So when we give each other deadlines, let's try by all means to meet them. If you have problems, you have your class reps and you have my number. Please, let's talk. So that if I'm going to move the deadline, I can move it whilst we are agreeing. Don't come after a month or 2 and say, I didn't submit the assignment. Can you do something for me? That's not what a manager does. You guys are training to be managers, or you are already managers, and we expect a lot from you guys. So before we close today, any questions for me?
So far, so good.
Okay.
Hello, sir.
Yes, my guy.
Yes, perhaps I could have been booted out and missed 1 or 2 things. Because my network was not stable. I just want to ask, do you have any recommended textbooks so that it will assist us during our assignments?
Yes, as I said previously, the notes I'm giving you today are from a book called Management Information Systems, Managing the Digital Firm. And this is a book by Loudon and Loudon. So as I said, I'm going to, if you send me your email and I add you to my Google Class, I'll share these notes and I'll share the textbook. But you are free to look for the latest version. Maybe if your library has one, it would be excellent.
Thank you.
This is the book. Let me share the screen. This is the book. Can you see it?
Not as yet. Yes, indeed.
Yes, so it's a book by Kenneth Loudon and Jane Loudon. This is the 16th edition. Sometimes if you search on the internet, you can find, I downloaded and got I think the 12th edition. I think it's good enough. In your library, you can find the latest version, or you search on your e-resources, you may actually be able to access the latest version. All right, guys, so this is my first If you meet me in the street, buy me a drink, and you get 2 more marks.
Nice to see you, Doc.
All right, guys. So let's keep in touch on our group. Let's not keep quiet for too long. If you have anything you want to share, you may want to ask a question, or you could have read something interesting and say, guys, I've been reading this. It's just quite interesting, and people can respond. You know, let's be a family together. We pass together and enjoy. Yes, Adons, did you say?
Yeah, that is my first 2.
Yes, that's good. Let's hope that one of these days before you write examinations, we'll be able to meet. Like last semester, they allowed us to meet our students one day, which was fine for revision purposes.
Okay.
So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I will share